minutes to go live.
We are live right now.
Yeah, I know. We cannot wait another minute until it's
I
6:30.
know. All right.
We're really
I don't know what
excited
we're.
about our
I don't know what
podcast
we're.
today.
What are we dancing about? They just lost 10-0. We should be crying. We should be
No.
going, what happened? I mean, seriously.
Wait, I got to see Luis Guillorme pitch, so I don't know. I kind of appreciate that a little bit.
I don't know. I think he's, better off at third base because
Of course.
I'm thinking the circumstances for him to go to the mound today were pretty bad.
Oh, I know.
And think about it. Think about the new rules. You have to be losing by 10 runs in the 8th inning
But
in
might as
order.
well enjoy it. It's already 10. It's bad, so I tend to look at the positive. So I saw Luis Guillorme pitch. I enjoyed him watching him pitch, and I enjoyed even more watching Mark Scherzer's face when he got the last out. So that was priceless.
I don't know. Like, I just was so frustrated that they were losing 10-0, and I
didn't
couldn't
know.
enjoy
I
it.
started watching the game, and they were like 1-0. Okay, they were down 1-0, and I went to a Zoom meeting for like a half hour only. When I came out of the meeting, I saw the score, and it was 10-0. I was like, "What happened?" I had to like really rub my eyes and make sure I wasn't.
Well, you know what? My phone was blowing up, like going, what happened in the Mets? Like, I should know. I should know what's going on with the Mets. They're like, come on, give
What
me
do you think happened?
They're
Because
losing.
what happened? So 5 runs. Carrasco allowed 5 runs, and then
I think like they lost the moment he stepped foot on the mound. I mean, seriously, Carrasco, like, he did not have it.
No.
And he was already in
Yeah.
violation of the pitch clock or something even before.
Yeah, he was out of it completely.
It was just so annoying. You felt like there was no hope at all.
Oh yeah, no hope at all. But it's funny because Senga was pitching yesterday, and he had a rocky start. He was like not doing well, and then he got refocused, and he sort of stayed in the game, and he made it through. But Carrasco just couldn't pull it through.
Yeah. So let's welcome our guest coming in. Welcome, Tom. Thank you for joining us again, Margie.
Hi, Tom.
Yeah, she's ready with the Easter comments too. Margie saying they laid an egg. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
It was a big fat 0 egg. It's called, like, not only did they give up double digit runs, they didn't even score 1 run. So
that's maybe let me just show a Marge's comment about maybe because we need Betty. Betty.
Yeah. So you know what? He wouldn't have made a difference today, but Beatty might have made a difference on Friday when they only lost 2-1.
Yep.
Because he was tearing it up in Syracuse. He had the 2 home runs. He was, I believe, 4 for 5 runs. He looked really good.
Yeah, we have Tom saying that the biggest concern was Carrasco's velocity decreased from 94 miles an hour in the first inning, and then he went 89 and 90 in the fourth. So why do you think it happened, Brenda or Tom? He was focused, to be honest.
Well, look, where is he in the rotation? Let's start with that. Okay. He's what, their 5th pitcher? And he wasn't even moved up after Verlander got hurt. And then, they brought in Tyler McGill up to pitch in place of Verlander. So Carrasco didn't even like move up in the rotation. So what does that tell you right there? I don't think the brass has too much confidence in him. What do you think?
Probably, yeah. He's not feeling the love, so maybe he's a little
No love from me
No
today.
love
That's
for
for sure.
Cookie. We love. I love.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I'm not going with that nickname this year. He's no cookie from me for him.
Cookie crumble
You
bad
know,
today.
speaking of cookies, let's talk about all the players who lost weight for the Mets. I'm like, listen, I want that diet. Please tell me what you guys are doing. Um, because Carrasco, he lost 15 pounds.
He has a personal trainer. So I'm sorry, Brenda,
Yeah,
but when you can get a
supposedly
personal trainer, I mean,
that's true. And so I learned a lot about Carrasco today because I think the Met announcers had to talk about him, like his personal life, because they couldn't talk about his pitching because it was so bad. So they were like, "Oh, Carrasco loves to travel in the off season, and he's been to
true.
260 countries. And this year he brought his personal trainer with him. And do you
Definitely
know?"
reflecting.
Oh my gosh, they're like, "Do you know the wildest place he's ever started like throwing his, fastballs was in Africa?" And I was just like, "Seriously, I want to hear him throw like, the announcer say, 'Hey, he's throwing strikes. He's looking good.'" But no, they're talking about him traveling.
No.
So, pretty crazy.
Yeah, well, Tom knew that he had to refer to you for the facts, Brenda.
Yeah, yeah, the information that nobody cares about.
Well, I don't want to. I mean, you talk about losing weight and everything. I want to talk about Alonso's mustache. I'm sorry, super hot.
Oh no. You know what? Remember Jeff Kent with his mustache? I mean, that's what like Alonzo's mustache kind of reminds me of that. But
I don't know. I'm digging it. So probably because I'm a big fan of the mustache, the number 17 mustache, Keith Hernandez.
um,
But
yeah, no, I'm
so
not
far,
showing the love for that. If he hits a home run, I'm fine. Have the mustache, the facial hair. I don't really care, but you better be rounding the bases and, hitting a four base dinger.
yeah, I mean, maybe they have to bring, Escobar had the day off today. Maybe they just have to bring Beatty in to kind of get that sort of things sort of moving. A
Yeah, I
little
mean,
shift.
hey, we could take a poll right now to get everybody's feedback on Beatty. I think we'll get a lot of
Should I show this comment? Jeff can look like a beat cup.
Oh my gosh, Jeff Kent. Yeah, I wonder where he is today. I mean, speaking of second basemen, we have Daniel Murphy down in
Oh.
in the Long Island team for
Mm-hmm.
vying for a spot, to make it back up to the major leagues. The guy's 37 years old. Let me tell you, he never lost it as far as his hitting ability. It was his knees. His
What was it? The
legs just
back, the knee, the back. I
the
don't know.
back, the knees,
The age. He's what?
the age like 37, you're over the hill at
37 years
37.
old.
Yeah. But hey, now with the DH, you don't even have to run. Just hit it over the wall.
We
You
should
could
get him
jog
back.
around. There's no clock on how long it takes you to round the bases, right?
Well, for Alonso, it was the other day when he took too long to get back to first base, and they
Yeah.
penalized.
Let's talk about that because that was such an interesting call.
Yeah, I didn't know that was another rule. By the way, I'm sorry, but
I do- I don't think it really was. I think it was the umpire just overstepping a bit. I
mm,
That's my take. I believe the MLB said they were wrong. The ump was wrong with the call because I guess he wasn't exactly, jogging, or
it was
maybe he was jogging. He wasn't moving pretty,
there
quickly
was.
to the
I
base.
think there was no need for that. But
Yeah.
what really upset me was the challenge we had on on the runner to first, and the when was it McNeil? No, Alonso. I can forget who was running, but the foot was off the base, and it was clearly safe, and they called it out. They challenged it, and they still called it out. So that was pretty upsetting. I don't know if
Yeah.
you saw that, Brenda.
Well, I didn't see that play, but it's so interesting everybody's takes on that. They're like, what are they doing? Like, why even have these umps making these calls? They're not getting them right. So what's the point? It's almost like, oh yeah, we'll go review this, but we really won't review it. So that's the way I feel about it. And the thing going back to the Alonso call was that they penalized McNeil, and thank God it didn't make a difference because he got
Mm-hmm.
a hit anyway.
Yeah.
But they gave him an extra strike, so that was definitely wrong. So they have to figure out, okay, if a base runner is taking all this time on the bases and not getting back in time, who gets penalized? What do you do about that?
Yeah.
So you
I
can't you can't put it on the batter.
We have this comment from Simon3 that said that MLB apologized about that.
Yeah, see? So sometimes they know when they're wrong.
Can we get like a ball back or something? What can we do? Sorry, that didn't
Could
sound well.
could we like do something about like
Give
the
us a run or something? A
yeah,
full
or
run?
maybe like something about like the spending cap. Not that there's a cap in baseball, but they do penalize the team when you spend too much money. So maybe like a draft pick. No, something like that.
Something. We need
Yeah.
something from it.
Oh my gosh. Well, you know what? Speaking about getting something right and also admitting when you're wrong, let's talk about Darren Ruff, your friend, Andreina, your buddy Ruff is gone. Are you
Yay!
feeling good about that?
I'm sorry. I'm a loving person, but I could not wait until he was put somewhere else. Because
Even if he's,
it was
he's out
really
on the streets now, don't you
it was
feel
really
sorry?
cringy. Like every time he couldn't do anything. So like, please let him go. Just release him. Um,
Well,
so that's good.
I yeah. What bothers me the most about it is not getting Ruff on the team, but who they gave up for him. I love
Oh
JD
my God!
Davis. I know you love JD
No,
Davis.
don't get me
I
started. Do
like
not.
why? Why get Ruff for JD Davis?
Don't even
And
get me started on
you
that.
know, and the thing too is like the Mets.
JD. Oh
Okay,
my God.
we're gonna talk about this weekend because for the most part, the weekend playing Miami, it was a good weekend, right? You win 3 out of 4, you
Good.
win the series,
Mhm.
you have a solid hitting except for Friday. But
Yeah.
then you have today, and you have to wonder if there's going to be a problem here with this consistency with hitting, because last year there were those moments where they just couldn't get their act together, and
Well,
yeah,
up
they
until today, it was, the pitching was great up until today. So I'm not, I mean, 3 out of 4 days, I'm not so concerned. It's still only the first week, so I'm not really worried about it. But um I'm gonna go with those other 3 days that our pitching was doing well, and I'm gonna just hold on to that. I'm gonna try to forget about today. I don't know. I just don't want to think about it because it's so weird. 10 runs, like that's so random.
it's just,
I don't want it to be a reflection of um
it's like when you have the bases loaded and they're already losing 6-0, and he gives up a grand slam. You're like, really? Really? Like, I mean, come on, Brewers. You don't really need those extra 4 runs. Let's face it, the game is over.
yeah, let's go home. We have dinner
Yeah,
plans.
I know. So,
But the
yeah,
defense has been, I mean, not just the pitching, but the defense has been amazing. Like I watched McNeil making like an incredible play. Alonso missed it and he caught it and he threw home plate and he, got this guy out so they didn't score. So and then Lindor has been on fire.
spectacular.
Oh,
He's always had a great glove.
incredible. So it's
Yeah.
all good. It's all good, Brenda. Let's just
Yeah, I don't think they had an error today. I'm not sure, but they didn't have an error for the Miami series. So they were up there and fielding, obviously, amongst the other teams.
um
Marge has something to say here.
I think to start out on the road and not have a home game yet though.
Yeah.
Tough,
No,
tough,
well,
tough.
that's a good point. And I want to say, and it's something I said, I don't know, last week or 2 weeks ago, playing 8 days in a row, it's unheard of. Like, who starts a season playing 8 games in a row? I just not. I'm not going to make excuses. And today was obviously it was Milwaukee's opening day, but you've had now. You're the away team. You're the opposition of two teams for their opening day games, right? Before they even played their own opening day game.
Yeah.
So it's
I
true
think
that
they're making up for last year's lockout. Like, the season started late, so they were like, maybe this is like, okay, go, 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 go. I don't know. It's just weird. I don't
well,
know who's the person, deciding the schedule. Is it but
Well, it's definitely an interesting schedule because now they play Miami again, and I wish they'd play Miami like every weekend, really, but they're not. After they play Miami at home, they're not going to play them again for a long time. So it's just going to be this unusual schedule where they play a lot of different teams they've never um, even seen before. Well, I shouldn't say never seen before, but not on a regular basis, right? So they're going to see everybody, and that's going to be the first time that that's going to happen for the Mets, that they're going to see every team. There's 30 teams out there, 29 different teams they're going to play. So it'll be it'll just be interesting, and it's also how that impacts the players, because you really get to know the pitchers that you're up against, and the pitchers know the hitters and all that, like scouting that takes place.
yeah.
How is that going to be when you're seeing players for a limited amount of time?
Yeah,
Because
like Senga when he pitched yesterday, nobody knew about that. Whatever.
well, but
What
I
is it
guess
called? The
when
ghost fork. The
yeah, that is just
Nobody's seen that pitch from him. So nobody's pitched. He hasn't pitched to
well,
anyone, so it
yeah,
was
well,
it was effective. It was really good.
he'll be new for everyone, really. And
Yeah,
yeah, I love that. If you watched the game yesterday and you saw his glove, that ghost fork
yeah,
pitch was just, the picture on his glove. It's so cool. He got that name 10 years ago in Japan. He just, it stuck with him. And the comment is that you see the pitch and then you don't, it just disappears. So
mhm.
he was very effective in yesterday's game. But yeah, you have that too. The players that are new, either whether they've come up from the minor leagues or they've come from another country. They might be veterans coming from Japan, somewhere else, but they're new to the MLB. So it is true that you're going to see these players, and it's going to be they're going to have the advantage, right? At least for a
Exactly. There's
while.
gotta be something good about it. What
Yeah.
about Tommy Pham? He got new contact lenses and he just started seeing the ball and he started hitting.
Yeah, I maybe he should give his contact lenses to Escobar. I
Oh,
mean, seriously.
Brenda, that's rough.
I know. Oh, rough. Yes. Darren agrees.
But you know what? I think, wait, going back to rough for like a little bit. I think the biggest reason why I had like that sort of thing against rough is because you know what? JD went away and I really enjoyed watching JD play.
I know you did. I know he was one of your faves. But you know
Wow.
what? You know who's one of my faves? Tommy Pham. I
Oh,
I always liked Tommy Pham. Okay, I followed him when he was on St. Louis. I followed him when he was on Tampa Bay.
really?
Yeah, in
Interesting.
2017, he had a phenomenal year. He was in the running for MLB most valuable player. I think he finished around 11th place in that. I think Scherzer finished 10th, so he finished. Scherzer finished above him, but Tommy Pham had the numbers. He hit for average. He drove in runs. And so he has that ability. So I really liked it. Great contribution from him yesterday.
Good call on the
And
contact lenses too.
yeah, I know.
So we have a comment here from Simon Three. He said about the game today. It was the ghost
Oh,
offense. That was our offense today.
I
Ghost
know.
offense. Saw them yesterday and and the gone today.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a funny one. That's Nick.
Nick.
That's true. We're gonna have a new ghost out there for the offense. It does concern me to see. I know it's early. Hey, what did they put 5 games in? I should not get crazy, but I do get crazy because I don't want to see a shutout this early. I wanna see
Oh, I
hitting
love these
the
comments. Boo.
ball.
Yeah, I
Oh,
love it. Yeah,
that's
what about
funny.
we wanted to do a poll about Beatty. We want to ask our viewers, Beatty, bring him up. Are we ready
Yeah.
for Beatty?
Who's ready for Beatty? I just wanna plug, Tom said Tommy Pham was on the Red Sox last year and did okay with hits. Definitely a good contact hitter, and I I just don't know what it is about him that he doesn't stick on a team. So I that concerns me a little bit, but if he contributes,
Who cares?
just that's fine. Who cares?
Yeah,
Yeah, just plug him in. I love too that
Batty for
um
Batty over here. Woo,
okay, so
Batty for Batty.
we got a baddie for Betty, baddie bada boo.
Betty Batty, Betty Batty, Betty Bam, Bada Bing, Bada Boom.
Bada bing, yes.
Swing Bada.
Well, I'm telling you, when Escobar isn't hitting, okay, here I'm gonna put this out there again because I followed Escobar too before he came to the Mets, and I really liked Escobar, not only just as a hitter, but being a versatile player. He could play multiple positions. I loved him, but last year, how annoying is it when you don't hit the whole year and you decide in September to put up these fantastic numbers? Like, what did the rest of the season didn't matter? So I think, that got him his contract this year, but I think the Mets have to rethink how long they're going to stick with him.
I don't
And
think it's gonna take long for them to bring Beatty up.
Beatty up.
Yeah,
Yeah. Definitely
that's my
Escobar's on
prediction. Do you
he's
want?
on a short leash.
Do you have your magic 8 ball there, Brenda? Maybe we should ask the magic ball to see if
Okay, I do. It's sponsored by Mattel.
Mattel or one of our
It's kind of
sponsors.
hokey. I get it. It's ridiculous, but I think I might need contacts though to read this thing. I might need
Put
Tommy
your
Pham's
glasses on.
contact. I know they fell to the floor. Now I gotta go find my glasses.
Oh,
So
okay, never
I
mind.
don't know. Well, let me see. I
Well,
might
we have
see.
everybody participating says that we should bring Beatty up. So I think
Oh, so the Magic 8 Ball says no. Oh, Mattel, we gotta drop that
Mattel,
sponsor.
we don't want your sponsorship anymore. Take it back.
Yeah, seriously. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, we need that spark, Marge. You're right.
Yeah, I think you know what? It's the Mets' fault, though. I'm going to put this out here. It is. It is the management's fault about Beatty, and I'll tell you why. Because last year they brought him up, and he was not ready last year, and they rushed it, and now they're doing the opposite. So now they're playing carefully
Same with
about.
Andros. They brought him in too late, so it was like now they gotta send him back to AAA. Like they should have bring. But we don't want to talk about what they should have done. I'd rather
Well,
talk about
no,
what
but
they.
it impacts the fact that the fact last year, I think the decision making with Beatty impacts their decision making this year. So that's my point, is that they're uh, they're not going with him because they think he needs more time in the minor leagues. Now, how much more time do you need? How many more games do you need?
Wait,
I
Nick Mattel said no. So sorry.
So I'm gonna throw this ball with
Oh,
my
that
ghost.
ball.
I'm gonna hold it like the ghost fork ball right here and throw it as fast as I can. Yeah.
What
So
about Lo Castro? He is getting hit, and he loves it.
I know that guy, that dude, he just will not move out of the way. The ball's coming at him. He's like, "Hey, I see a ball. Here's my body. I think I'll put my body in front of the ball. I'll be
Yeah,
on
he
first
pretends.
base."
He goes like this, but he goes like, "Here's my elbow. Take it."
He It's unbelievable. And you know what? How smart is it that the Mets picked him over Ruff, because he's going to get on base. He's going to steal bases because now they have the advantage with the largest bases and the pitchers not being able to throw over as much. He's going to make an impact, I
Yeah.
just it, it just bothered me that he gets hit with, they're losing 10-0, and it's like, oh,
Well, he's
let's see, I have to get hit by a ball anyway. I'm up at the plate. I'm not going to swing. Listen, this was the opportunity for you to finally try to get a hit. Just swing at the ball,
yeah, maybe it
really.
was a time to hit, not get hit.
It was
Well, that's his
crazy.
thing. So he probably wants to like maybe he's after that record of hit by pitches. Maybe he
Kana,
wants
like
to
Kana.
surpass Cana and Marte in a way.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, at least Kana can hit the ball. I mean, he looked fantastic the other day.
oh yes,
He showed power. He RBIs, runs. He was on it. He's such a solid, consistent hitter, and he's very underrated, I think.
yeah. I like him a lot.
And today he played third base. So I think the Mets are going for that third base record, where how many third basemen can you have playing on the team? They always seem to have multiple third basemen. So you notice that? And it just so happens, right? Beatty's third base, Viento's third base,
Yeah.
Escobar's third base. You had McNeil, at third base
Well,
today. Oh,
no, he
that's
was
right.
shortstop.
Yeah. So, McNeil was short. Yeah, because Connor was playing, but I think McNeil's played third before. So,
I'm sure he has.
yeah,
McNeil is just incredible. I don't think he's ever. I mean, he got struck out today, but I never seen it. I mean, he's always making contact. So
he's such a solid player. They were talking about him today being an intelligent batter, and even when he had that extra strike on him, and he ended up getting a hit and driving in a run, he's he has that ability, to think through on, it's not just about like swinging away. I mean, I think it was today, he actually bunted to
oh
get on
yeah,
base, which was unusual. They said he only did that 2 or 3 times in his whole career, but they were playing over a bit. So the shift is out, but it's not completely out. You could still move as long as you have 2 players on one side, 2 players on the other side. You could still shift them over. So McNeil was like, "Hey, I got all this space here. I'm just going to bunt it," which I always say, why not? Like, they should always think about that. And he did it today. Of course, when you're losing, not they weren't losing 10-0 then, but when you're losing by a lot, it really doesn't matter much.
Let me see. He uses an old fashioned bat with no knob at the end, and he chokes it.
Yeah,
He's.
I love those
I
players.
love the squirrel. What about Verlander? What's happening?
So yeah,
No,
we're
what's
gonna go.
happening?
We have to go there. We do. We
We
have
have to.
to. We have to just. It's the elephant in the room, right? I
It
mean,
is,
it is.
and we don't have the answers, but we can only just.
Well, let's talk about it. The guy is 40 years old. We've just signed him major money. Okay. But he's also last year he was fantastic, but the year before he was under the knife, right? He had Tommy John surgery. So then when you hear about this, oh, I have this kind of twinge in my armpit thing, you're like, is it the shoulder? Is it the elbow? What is it? Like,
Is
is it Tommy John surgery again?
March saying that Verlander's injuries is a tough injury to overcome? Is that
No,
no?
no,
It's
no.
not that. Okay.
I
But
don't think so. I don't, are you asking, Marge?
yeah, March, please.
Marge, what are you saying here? What are you saying? Because what I hear is that it's not a big
It's
deal.
not a big deal. But listen,
It's
I
minor. Three
this is the
games.
thing. I don't want to.
3 games. That's what they're saying. 3. He's going to
But
miss
how did
3.
DeGrom do? Because we let
Oh my
DeGrom
God.
go. We let DeGrom go, and then we took Verlander. Now, are we gonna have to regret that? No, right?
Listen,
No,
don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. I'm telling you right now, I am not going to badmouth DeGrom. No
right?
way. I love DeGrom. I don't care if he's a Ranger and he's playing in Texas. I'll never forget what he did for the Mets. He could always be relied on when he went out to the mound. And
I
I
love
don't
DeGrom too.
I know. I can't. The fact that he got hit so hard and had the worst outing of his whole career for Texas doesn't make me feel good. I have no joy over DeGrom pitching poorly. And there are
No.
Met fans that'll say, well, he didn't want to play with the Mets, so too bad. And we'll root against him and we'll be happy when he sucks. And I don't feel that way.
I
I'm
think
not
we yeah, I think I don't know.
I'm not gonna root against him, but
Do we
uh,
play the Texas Rangers? And
look, I'm not
what are we gonna do?
No, I of course when he's playing against the Mets,
Oh yeah,
I have like
no
there's
mercy.
no allegiance to him there.
Yeah.
I want them to do well. But
But
yeah, I
listen,
don't
but it wasn't it horrible every time he would pitch that the Mets wouldn't like score runs. Like I always like cringed with that every time. Oh, like
Oh, well, and how many runs did the Texas Rangers score for him?
I
They
don't
scored
know.
11.
Oh shoot.
That's a crazy thing. Like, if we're gonna talk about these other teams too, let's put it all out there on some of these teams that are scoring crazy runs and beating up on teams that you predict to do really well. And hey, it's the beginning of the year; anything can happen. But teams like Texas scoring all those runs and Philadelphia just, expecting to have a breakout year are like winless now. And guess who they're playing tonight? Do you know, Andreina?
Yes, I think they're
Who's
playing with. Bronx Bomber.
Yeah, right here around the corner,
So
right
what are we
there.
gonna do? Are we gonna root for the Yankees? What should do? What should we do? I don't know. Tell me.
Okay, so there's this whole saying, I heard it on FAN. They were like, "Mad fans for the Yankees." But
Crazy. Come on.
I was like, "Look, I'm going to watch NCAA basketball over that game because I just can't even go and follow that." I have this, I don't know. Either way, I have disdain for both teams. I whether it's jealousy over the Yankees or just being, well,
Jealous.
I don't know, just
Ugh.
being a competitor with them
Just
for
man.
many years. Yeah, we're Mets. We're like, we always feel like we're like the, I don't know, the black sheep or something. You know?
They feel that way, but
Yeah, like the being a Yankee fan's elite.
no, it's
And
not. They're
we're,
not nice fans. So
no, they're not. But now they're playing Philadelphia. So what do we think about Philadelphia
I'm
fans? I
not.
mean,
I'm just gonna. I mean, I'm not gonna root for the Yankees, but I just hope. I'm just gonna hope they win. Does
yeah,
that make sense?
right. Yeah, I mean, look, Philadelphia hasn't won yet, and there's nothing better than seeing the Phillies be 0-4, whatever, 4-5, to start the year. Because I predicted that that's the team to beat, and it's not because they finished so strongly last year. It's because they solidified some of like the areas that they needed to work on, and that's from last year where they were in the World Series. So it's not, I think they're going to be the toughest team for to beat, and yet they're not playing well this year. So you could imagine what those Philly fans are saying. I mean, if the Mets are going, "Oh my God," Met fans are screaming at being,
One
what,
game. No,
yeah,
not bad. Okay, so Mark said,
3-2. Oh my God, we're 3-2. Ah.
um. I
Okay, we
root
got to
for
read that.
before I root for the Yankees. Me too. Me too.
Let's
I
see.
don't.
Wait,
I am not gonna root for the
a
Yankees,
dead rat.
but
Yeah. Yeah, it's true. I can't do it. I
no,
can't. I can't
no,
root for them.
it's not in my.
I
Same with the
can't.
Braves.
But you know
It's like
what? I'll tell you though, if it came down to whether the Mets would make the playoffs or not, or win their division, I would do it. I would suck it up and say, you know what? I need you. I need you to win and just do it. Maybe I won't watch it because I don't want to participate
mm,
in that, but I don't know. If it was for the Mets, because we are Met fans and we
yeah,
want the
maybe
best
closer
for
to
the
the
Mets.
end. Yeah, maybe a decisive like game or series or something. Maybe
Yeah.
it would have to be like I don't know,
I don't know.
restrained.
Um, there's a lot of dead rats on the subway.
Plenty of dead
Between
rats.
Flushing and the Bronx. I'd say more in the Bronx.
Yeah, I
So,
love dead rats too. So let's just um
uh,
before I
uh,
like the Yankees, before the Yankees, I like
oh, that's so funny. Yeah. Um, so I think Tom had a comment too about the Met fans and Yankee fans.
um no true Mets are Yankee fans. Yep. Same with Jets and Giants.
Yeah, although I kind of don't fit that mold because I'm Giants and Mets. So I'm not in that Jets Mets where people are Yankees and Giants. So I think it really just it
Mark
really
is
did.
like on point with his emojis. I'm loving it.
Oh
Keep
my
going,
god.
Marge.
It, oh, so yeah,
Sorry.
speaking of March, she's a huge Giants fan and Mets fan, and knows other Giants Met fans too. which is it's unusual. It's especially
It's
unusual.
more like Giants, Yankees.
Yes, it's Giants, Yankees, Mets, Jets, and part of that has to do with when the teams really begun. The Mets and the Jets are newer teams, and the Giants and the Yankees are older, so they go back a longer way. Plus, the Giants played at Yankee Stadium before the Meadowlands were built, and the Jets played at Shea Stadium. So that there's history there as well.
Yeah, that I guess that helps. Well, I don't
Yeah,
know if
but
you have to remind people that we are not, this is not a half-hour podcast today. We're going to go for like a full hour. So
yeah,
we're
so keep it coming. Yeah.
coming.
And by the way, I don't hate the woo! I don't hate the Jets like I hate the Yankees. So even though I'm a Giants fan. So just
Wait,
saying.
did they get Aaron Rodgers already?
Oh yeah.
They did?
No, well,
Oh,
who knows? Who knows? It's not
okay, sorry.
official. We never know. We never know with that. I always wonder too with other fans outside if they're hardcore for their team. For example, like if you're a Red Sox fan, let's say you live in Connecticut, right? And you're a Red Sox fan. Are you going to be a New England fan, or are you potentially a New York fan like a Giants or Jets? So I'm just always curious about the allegiance to other teams in other sports.
Well, let's ask our viewers.
I know.
Because
Especially
I watch football, but I don't really, I just watch the game and I root for the one that is whatever playing the other. So I don't have like a favorite team, but I just enjoy the game and watching it. So let me see. Tom said, wait, no, Marge said Rangers, Mets, Giants, and Knicks.
okay. Yeah,
And
that's
Tom
that's
says
me too.
ESPN and Knicks. Okay,
Oh,
interesting.
that's interesting, and the Red Sox are
Mhm.
in that mix too.
Yeah.
So I always I find that it really depends. There's usually some kind of circumstance growing up, or somebody has an influence on you that makes you become a fan, maybe outside of where you live. Um, that, and then, it doesn't always seem to jive with the teams, because I've seen that too. And I have to say, for baseball, I will always be a Met fan. I'm so dedicated. But when it comes to other sports, I'm not as dedicated, even though I'm a big Giants fan. I do, everybody who knows me knows I like the 49ers too. So that makes no sense. So,
But
but for
why do you
the
like the 49ers?
because I spent a lot of time in California, and now I have 49er tickets. So I like when they win, because then, it helps
Go
me.
to the games?
I could sell the tickets. But then, when you become invested in a team and you're always watching them, they kind of become your team. So, but I'll never do that with the Mets. Like I'll always be a Met fan. I'll never buy tickets for another team where it's season tickets. And the loyalty goes way back. And we had family Met tickets going back to 1981, and all the way up to 2017. We had a Mets season ticket plan, so always going to the games, going to the World Series, the playoffs. 86 was amazing. I talked about that for a while. And I can't imagine ever rooting for any other
Me
baseball
neither.
team.
Me neither.
Yeah.
We make fun of my dad because he'll switch. And I found out last year that he would root for the Yankees. And
What?
what?
No, no,
I
no,
said to
no.
him, you cannot, like, you can root for
Oh,
anybody, not for the Yankees. And my brother was like, oh, he's been a Yankee fan for a while.
that's crazy.
I had to talk to him and I said, Dad,
Yeah.
you can't. Any other team, yes, but not the Yankees. So He told me he became a Mets fan last year, so I'm gonna hold him to it because he keeps switching. But don't go to
Yeah,
the Yankees. Do not. No, you can
that
do that.
that's that's crazy. I
Oh,
had that in my family too. We had that where I grew up a Mets fan, and then my stepfather and my mom just decided to be Yankee fans, like all of a sudden. And they taught me, like, oh, Yankees are bad. Don't root for them. They gave up on Babe Ruth and they're really like a terrible organization. I'm like, okay, okay. I'm like a little girl going, yeah, 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 you're right. You're right. And then we'd go to all the Met games and then they switch.
I don't
What?
understand. Yeah. So yeah, there's Nick. It's saying that they have family that switched to Tampa teams from New York and Philly. What?
They live in Tampa now. I kind of get it if you live in the area and then you're watching the games, but I'm not doing that.
Yeah, me neither,
If
Marge.
I
I
move
can't.
somewhere else, I am not becoming this loyal, let's say San
No.
Diego Padres fan or something like that. That is not happening.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
my dad was also a huge fan of the Big Red Machine back in the 70s.
Oh yeah, we
That's
had
why my brother is a huge Cincinnati Reds fan. So he's always been a fan because of my dad and that connection, right? So when he found out my dad was rooting for the Yankees, my brother was like, "What? I became a Reds fan because of you, and now you're not even
what
what?"
wait. I am so confused. Your dad was Reds and then was Mets and then was Yankees?
No,
Like,
Reds, and he'll like now the
ah,
Yankees. I I don't know. He's a
you
total
know,
front runner, like Marge said.
well, you
Total
know
front
what? That it is. It is because you think about it. Your dad in the 70s was rooting for George Foster and, Joe
runner. Mi
Morgan,
Concepcion. We're from Venezuela, so we love
Pete Rose.
Concepcion, Pete
Oh yeah,
Rose,
Concepcion. Yeah, but and they won. They won then, so it
Johnny
was
Bench.
Johnny Bench. Yeah, I mean, my uncle Jack, he was a huge Reds fan too. And of course, he moved to Arizona and became a Diamondback fan. So go
Became
figure, right? Yeah,
became
yeah. So what do we think for going forward for the Mets? Like, how are they going to remedy some of these issues that they have? We already talked about Beatty
whatever
coming up.
issues are like
So I think,
pitching.
we had McGill come up and pitch well in place of Verlander, right?
One more comment from March, and I agree with March. Football is the only sport that I can watch all the games and enjoy them. Yes.
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
Me too. I could well, yeah, fantasy football has something to do with that too, but
A little
um
bit.
a little bit, but I'm just thinking about their, a couple things, their rotation with Carrasco not playing well today. And also, are we going to start seeing some holes with the relief pitching now? They played really well against Miami, but today looked terrible. So is that going to be an issue going forward? So there's a couple things out there. And then the fact that they got shut out today and they only got one run on Friday. And so there's a couple issues. I know it's early. No, I'm not going to panic. I'm really not, but I do want to put it out there and get people's opinion on what they think, is needed besides Beatty coming up. Yeah.
Okay,
So
yes, March, yes, full bounce back. Um,
we have Scherzer going tomorrow,
yeah.
and he looked good. He made a mistake on that home run, the 2-run home run to tie the game when they were up 3-1. So, and he knew he made a mistake, but overall he was pretty happy with his win, and so I think that should help cement a win tomorrow and get them back on track.
Yeah, me too. I think the pieces have to like sort of come together, and I think as long as we stay healthy, we as
Yeah,
a
I mean,
the
yeah,
team.
but you know what? do some of our Met
No, we're not
fans
panicking, Nick. We're not.
yeah, no. But do some of our Met fans like want
No,
somebody to get hurt? And not, you never root for anybody to get hurt, of course, never.
no.
But like, no, but just this whole thing about Beatty should be playing, not Escobar. You know, if he came up, they would be producing more. He gets hits. You know, he's hot. Blah blah blah. So the question is, are we are we like hoping to kind of have something like that happen?
I just don't think. Here's the
No.
thing. I don't think they're gonna sit on it for long. I think they're gonna act quickly, and I think that's what they're gonna do. No matter what happens, they're gonna make those adjustments quickly. That's my prediction. I think they're not gonna like.
They're
Oh,
not gonna wait. They're not gonna
no.
get you're not gonna get like you know, where you're 5 games out of first place or something. And you know what? In 1986, the best year that I could ever remember for a Mets fan, the Mets started out 3-5.
Hmm?
Just a little tidbit. They and everybody was like, "Oh my god!"
Wait, we're the team that comes back from behind and wins it. So
Yeah.
I'm used to that. When we're losing, I'm like, we can come back and win it. Sometimes we don't, but most of the time we do. So that sort of helps me keep in the faith about, you got to believe.
Yeah, hey, you
Wait,
know, they'll be fine. I
let's see.
think
We
too
have
when Verlander gets back, that'll help in the
That's the big
rotation.
question mark right now.
Rough
So
injury.
yeah, that's
uh,
rough. Definitely rough. Oh my God.
well,
I've seen
you
lightning.
know, you talk about they're going to make moves, but they made some moves last year that literally were rough, right? I mean, if we're going to get on this track, we're going to talk about them,
Don't get me
you
started
know.
again
But
because
that's the thing. Like sometimes the moves you make aren't the best moves, right?
and
So
that's
it's
okay.
true.
Everybody
Don't
makes
panic.
mistakes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, everybody makes mistakes. I mean, they traded JD for Darren Ruff. I will never forgive him for that. But
And I think some prospects along the way too, or
yeah,
draft
well, who
picks or
cares?
something.
I mean,
Yeah. But you know what? They look good at Syracuse, right? They didn't have a good game yesterday. I think they lost 8-1. But they do have the goods down there with batters, right? With productive hitters. So that's they can always pull from the guys down in the
yeah. Oh,
minors, the farm system.
I think that Syracuse team is it's gonna do great. We just hope that we can get those guys over here we kind before it's too late.
Yeah. Well, for sure. We definitely we don't want to panic, but and there's some good signs. We have a comment about 1986 up and down year for wait a
He
second.
said he
80
was learning how to walk.
Oh, yeah. So Nick
But
is
see, you
like
were a
he
baby in 1986, Nick. Come on.
yeah, he was a baby and we were out rooting for the Mets then. We're in our Well, I'm not
You're
gonna
gonna
date
say how
myself.
old I was.
No, I was a baby too.
I'm still a
And
baby,
you know
so
what? I just like I can't believe I remembered that in 1986 when I was only like 5 years old.
yeah. I mean, somebody told me about
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. So, but you know what? At 86, I want that again. I
Mhm.
want that
Magic.
team again because it was so magical and the connection with the players and the goofiness of these guys and all the things they did, these wild videos, and they were getting into trouble. They'd be down in Houston in bars and all, just there was just so many stories going on and they just kept winning
They
and
kept
winning. And
winning.
yeah, and it was it wasn't until like August where they like lost their first series other than in the beginning of the year. And I was like, oh my God, when they got swept in August in 86, I was like, oh, I started panicking then. And then of course, when they made the playoffs, they didn't hit. They weren't hit. They didn't look good, especially in the World Series. Tom could talk about that because they didn't
Tom,
look
are you
good.
still there?
I know. Red Sox.
We need you, Tom. Major Tom.
Yeah. So they just they did not they didn't look good, like you just thought, oh my God, this whole year could just blow up right then and there if they don't, get their act together.
What did March? This is a long comment from March. Can you read it?
Now without my glasses.
True story. Took Nick to Mets game, and he was 3 months old, and the Mets kept hitting home runs. I think they scored 13 runs, and the place was so loud that Nick was startled every time they hit a homer. Maybe he was happy about it.
Yeah. Well, and he still became a Met fan. He wasn't traumatized by that.
Okay, we got Tom here. Tom said, I remember it well. The Red Sox took the first 2 games of that series at Shea Stadium.
Yeah, I was at that second game. I was at. Tim Tuffle had the error and they lost 1-0. And I was like, where are them in the Mets? They're not hitting. The Mets aren't hitting. And, and they made an error. Like, how is that even possible? So it didn't look good, but they came through. So
We sure did.
yeah.
Thanks to Mookie Wilson and Bill Buckner's legs.
Yeah. And yeah,
Sorry, Tom. I'm sorry.
I know. It's too bad that he gets the brunt of it because, it wasn't just him. Schiraldi, I mean, he had something to do with it. Yeah.
Brenda and I were there for that 6th game. That's incredible.
Yeah. So just a memory that we'll never forget too. Yeah. So one of those stories. So hopefully but I want that feeling because I still to this day it resonates with me that that season, every single game I closely watched those games, and I remember just feeling so good about that team and that connection and the camaraderie in the dugout. And I think the Mets have a lot of that now. I think they do.
Yeah, it's definitely there. That's no doubt there.
Yeah.
We just have to things have to click. We have to stay healthy. Other things have to kind of fall through. Besides the energy and the camaraderie and like the talent and everything. And we have the best manager too. I love Buck. We never talk about Buck, but I love that guy. So we're lucky to have him.
He's due to win a World Series, that's for sure, since he hasn't. So hopefully it'll be with the Mets. And it's a long season. We do get kind of carried away in the beginning, but it's there's a lot of time to make things right. And they're 3-2. Let's not forget that they're not like in last place and haven't won a game like the Phillies. Just saying, Philly fans out there.
Hey, no, we don't have any Philly fans here.
Yeah, so that's good.
Yeah.
Well,
we're almost like getting to the end of our podcast, everyone. Yes.
Are on the mound tomorrow, so I'm hoping in Milwaukee that they do a lot better than today. So
yeah, let's keep our fingers crossed. And I want to thank everyone for participating and joining us in our conversation. We love you guys. Brenda?
Yeah, and listen, if you haven't subscribed yet to our podcast, please do that. And then please spread the word because I'd love to get more participants on board.